Well, it looks like E3 really isn't dead, seeing as how now we finally have Nintendo here to complete the circuit.
Indeed.
They mentioned we're gonna talk about Pikmin, but yeah, I guess we're starting with Pokemon instead.
We're starting with Pokemon.
So, essentially, E3 now stretches over the course of a month as opposed to just being 1 week, but... yeah.
Sure,
it did happen the year there was the other major summer game fest. I remember that was even more extended because it was a case where the Ubisoft Forward was, I think, in July or in August.
Which actually makes me wonder, is this a part of Summer Games Fest, or...?
Probably not. They just... Again, Nintendo... Remember, Nintendo detached themselves from E3 a couple of years ago and just decided to have directs, roaming around the same
All
place.
images are from a product of the all images are from a product of the development.
Well, to be fair, they did still officially regard those directs as like, E3 directs, so... But with this one, they did not go out of their way to mention that, oh, this is a Summer Games Fest. Oh!
Honestly, Debs, if you ask me, they should first consider making the game run stable before thinking of DLC.
Have there been any fixes to it? I haven't gotten the game yet.
There were some patches, but they're like, it's basically the equivalent of putting a band-aid, Jova. It helps, but the major problems like performance are still unaddressed.
I do wonder if that fabled Nintendo new console is supposed to release next year, if we're gonna have, this running on it, instead at the more polished state.
This is the big problem with the way the Pokemon company is handling things. They're forcing Game Freak to develop these games over the course of a year, even though, again, for home console games like the Switch, that's just not feasible.
Yeah, we did saw a teaser of this before, this
new legendary
Pokemon. Yeah, apparently there's a new legendary tied to each of the expansions. I mean, it was a kind of the same thing with Gen 8.
Wait, we're at the Aether Foundation?
No, it's the Blueberry Academy.
Yeah, this is too blue. Remember, the Aether Foundation was an Apple store.
Wait, part 2? So is this like a whole nother new
Again,
game?
these DLC are... Yeah, so these DLC are actually, you have to treat them like story expansions, and they mentioned this one, and then this is the second instead. So I'm guessing this trailer talks about, both of them instead of just one.
Yeah, it looks nifty. Granted, it could just be because it's this trailer stuff, but it looks like it's functioning better now.
I'm going to go on full caution mode because the trailers before the main game release also looked good, didn't they?
I honestly can't remember if we saw lag in the trailers or not.
It's basically the Pokemon equivalent of Sonic 06, except apparently the story isn't shitty.
I think it's more like Cyberpunk, where there's a good game beneath it, but it's incredibly unpolished.
Okay.
Maybe
Cyberpunk is a good comparison because, from what I've heard, the gameplay and story are some of the best we've seen from Pokemon in a while. It's just that the game is so buggy. And how fitting is it that the year that Sonic kind of shook that stuff off was the year that Pokemon gobbled it right up.
It's
the paid DLC for the Pokemon Scarlet.
The Hidden Treasure Area 0. Okay.
The first half of the trailer took place at a festival in the countryside. While the second half seemed to be in
despite being supposedly Pokemon's equivalent to Spain, they dress awfully Japanese.
More details on this.
I remember, Jova, there are also the set of legendary which are basically Chinese artifacts.
So, Japanese.
I got it. I got a name for it.
What?
Barca.
Let's see first batch
Barcelona is the name of a city.
Yeah, Barcelona and Osaka.
Hey, Sonic!
Hey!
Superstars.
All right.
Speaking of Sonic,
He's having a good year.
He's had a pretty good
with the
years, actually so far.
With the surprise return of Naoto Oshima.
I'll admit, when I first heard
he doing the music?
Hey, there's
Wonderworld didn't kill his career.
I will say this. They definitely made a good decision showing off the gameplay before announcing that flipping Arceus were you know, kind of the ones helping with development. Because no, the game looks good.
The game looks good, and people who have played it say that the physics are on point. It's just that, but I'm still going to remain myself a bit cautious because, you know, Arzus, as we've talked about, they don't exactly have a good pedigree.
I will say this, though. Christian Whitehead legit gave this game his blessing, which is definitely the best sign I have for this game.
Sure, same.
Also, this has been quite the year for Amy. Girls playable in Origins, this game, and will later be playable in Frontiers.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, they mentioned in the trailer that we're getting 12 zones for Superstars, so yeah, it's looking to be a nice bulky experience.
Does that explain why $60?
I don't know. 12 zones for a 2D Sonic game. That still doesn't justify $60 to me.
It's on par with Sonic Free and Knuckles, which is the biggest 2D Sonic game. Oh, hey!
Farming simulator.
For those who like farming games, you're good. Oh well, hey, there's fishing too.
Explore. There's plenty of life beyond the village. Set off on a vast journey to uncover
Again, it's pretty much harmless, similar to other games that happen like Harvestella.
I will say, farming games, again, I'm not going to say like they were never a thing before, but it feels like lately they've definitely seen quite a surge.
I mean, it would be a big help if everywhere I went, people's names were hovering over their heads.
Oh, there's Persona 5 Tactica.
The Persona Tactica also.
Of course.
Persona 5 Fire Emblem.
Well, okay, not
Alright, so
necessarily.
let me get this straight. Okay, so we have a Persona 5 action game. We have now a Persona 5 strategy RPG. Are we gonna get Persona 5
racing game?
Persona 5 racing game.
Don't forget the dancing game, Pedro.
Yeah, there's also the dancing game. Well, we're going to put Persona 5 in every single genre.
Also the dungeon crawler on the 3DS. So.
Okay,
Sega, Atlas, this cow is milked dry.
Shiroi.
Shiroi, you say that, and people are still eating it up anyway.
Yeah, like
because that's the thing, Shiroi. Atlas saw a cash cow, and they're gonna milk it.
And keep them
themselves a cash cow.
At least I get to hear Lynn sing because she's fantastic.
It's just another repetition of the cycle because before this there was 4 being milked to death.
I will say
Persona 5 is definitely being much more milked compared to 4.
To be fair, I get what Teal means. So like, well,
It's coming out in November.
Okay, it may not have been to the extent that 5 is, but 4 was the golden boy, no pun intended, before 5.
Next. Step into a Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, so this is trying to imitate 80s.
Oh, so...
wow, I can finally pretend to play a He-Man video game.
That's a fun idea.
I'm guessing this is gonna also, because the first person is probably gonna be VR compatible for PC and others.
Well, hang on a minute. Hang on, this can't be a He-Man cartoon. The characters look different.
I mean, that's the idea, Dwibs. It's a royalty-free copy.
No, they all look different from each other as opposed to having the same mold.
Any Nintendo Switch Online membership sold separately Nintendo account subscribe for online feature. Membership otherwise without your initial item.
I will say, Dwibs, that Orko looks decisively different than Man-at-Arms, so I don't know what you're talking about.
The human characters.
Wait, Myth-Force.
Oh, hey!
Platoon.
So what's up now?
Terrible options.
How bad could it be, Shiroi?
What the fuck, the air?
Oh crap, it's been hacked.
The next Splatfest for the Splatoon 3 game has been confirmed.
Of course it has.
Here's the theme.
Oh, ice cream.
Yeah, one is meh, the other two can go in the bin.
There's no cheesecake.
Mint chip for the win. Mint chip is the best one.
I guess I'll have to go vanilla, but your hacks for forgetting the cheesecake flavor.
Is this just the American one, or does the European one have a different
It's global.
Okay.
So far, all the Splatfest have been global.
Yeah, I don't recall Europeans ever getting an exclusive Splatfest.
Well, not exclusive, but with different themings.
Ooh, Pokemon again.
Pokemon.
Wait a minute, that music.
Wait. Is this the Pikachu?
Wait.
See if the frame rate is still.
Yeah, it is. These models.
It lives. It lives.
These models, like they're.
Okay.
I wonder.
There's Tim. Yeah, there's Tim.
Did we got Kajitan back for the role?
Okay.
You see, Tia, the reason Reverend Core doesn't get an English sub is because Keiji now doesn't need to speak beneath himself.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I wonder, was this game originally meant for the 3DS, but then at the last minute got changed to Switch?
Well,
Probably.
so far this actually looks more like a sequel. It doesn't look like the original now.
No, my point is like, well, the
Well, Job was wondering if originally this game apparently what we're seeing right now was planned to be made onto the 3DS.
Oh, that I do not know.
Like, what will tell, but like, I hope it's not just this, because why not porting the first one as well?
The culprit is clear.
That's a good point. Well, at least it looks like
he does sound like Kajitan, just so yeah.
It's amazing how a lot of these Pokemon. It's amazing how this Pokemon spin-off has voice acting, and yet the mainline games refuse to add that.
That was Detective Pikachu.
Also, how much stuff is
You will not be getting coffee.
Also, how much stuff is getting released in October?
Oh my god, yeah.
It's gonna be a busy month, apparently. Yeah.
Is that why they put Persona 5 Tactica in November?
Probably.
I don't know, maybe.
Next, please take a look at this.
Okay.
Look.
What is this?
Oh, Super Mario RPG. There we are.
Is it actually present on the Switch Online service?
Yes, it is.
Oh, so why?
Oh, is this
wait.
I'm getting maybe this is. Oh, it's a. Oh, okay. There you go. All right.
Oh, hold on, a remake?
Yes.
This was leaked.
Was
Yeah,
it?
this
Was?
Yeah, this was leaked.
Me over.
This. No,
I
this was
either
leaked, and
did
there was
not
also
hear
one
of-
thing that was leaked, but I will mention it later.
I either did not hear about this leak, or I saw the leak and I just didn't believe it because Super Mario RPG is like one of those things that Nintendo kinda always seem to ignore for the most part, save for
So this
like
begs the question:
Malo?
is Square Enix involved?
Probably because
Yeah, since they made the original.
Also, I did read that Yoko Shimomura is back for this.
Oh,
she
he's
was.
doing all the remixes
This is one of her.
too.
Well, she was. The original game was one of her first major projects.
Okay,
Along with Live Alive.
If I recall correctly, the ones who pretty much hold the rights for this game were mainly Nintendo, like they would call
Nintendo,
the shots
yeah.
on this. So I don't know if
releasing
it,
the game regularly on their digital storefront, so they do have the publishing rights at least.
Well,
So-
they do mention that some aspects, like the character of Gino showing up, is dependent on Square, hence why they had to remove it for a remake of Superstar Saga.
so part of me does wonder how different will this be from the original, and if this means
Well,
that
Gino's there.
well, okay, Gino's kind of been a thing where yeah, Square had some say in him showing up outside of it.
So far, it doesn't seem too different, I can tell you that.
No, it seems like they mostly just did a graphical update and that's it so far.
I guess maybe we might be able to just cover this version for the channel when we eventually get to Super Mario
We'll
RPG.
see.
It's based on this trailer. It seems like they just updated the music
Oh,
and the
coming
visuals.
out in November
Yeah, it
this
says,
year.
it says copyright Square Enix, so I'm guessing they're involved.
There you go then.
RPG returned.
Either that or it's just Nintendo went, hey, Square, can we remake Super Mario RPG? Sure.
Like,
Cool,
well,
thanks.
we're actually in the middle releasing our entire catalog, so why not?
And even though it's and even though it's a straightforward remake on a middle scale, you can bet Nintendo's gonna charge $60 for this still.
What is this?
I guess it's better than charging 70. Wait, what? A Peach
Oh, a
game?
new Princess Peach game?
That's right.
Is this
Hopefully this will be better than the last one then.
I won't lie.
Also finding a vibrator.
I won't lie. Seeing that curtain gave me legit Paper Mario vibes.
Oh,
She's a magical girl now.
Always
Indeed.
was.
That's all we'll show for now.
oh,
Also, Jova, you say that.
don't
but
even have a
Nintendo recent-
title.
Mr. Koizumi, There's actually something else.
Also, Joe, you say that, but Nintendo recently charged $70 for Tears of the Kingdom.
From what I understand, Tears of the Kingdom is actually a game that warrants that. Mind you, I have not bought that game yet. Like, if a game's gonna be $70, it really has to justify it. But anyway, looks like we've got a remaster of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Oh my god, this means finally that a Kid Icarus Uprising remaster with proper controls on the Switch or beyond is possible.
Hold on. What about the first game, though?
I wonder if eventually that's going to crop up as a packaging.
I mean, I get that that one was not made by Next Level Games, but it shouldn't be too
Yes, we'll have to see. Hey, Batman!
Oh, hey, Oh, okay. So we're gonna get the Arkham Collection on Switch then? Okay.
Yeah.
Rocksteady. Wait. Hold on. Okay,
Well, they
Arkham
developing-
Asylum City.
I mean, they're probably just like there's probably another developer making the ports. It's just that Rocksteady's still involved.
Yeah,
No. That's not my issue. What about Montreal, though? Like, we're not gonna leave out Origins, are we?
Oh wait, they're gonna. Oh yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, Warner Brothers for whatever reason refuses to re-release Origins, and I don't get.
This
why.
is some Origin slander. Like, no, the
I
game.
guess that Origins Black Gate is not particularly memorable, but you know, at the very least, the base Origin should be fine enough.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, Origins is a
And
good
then they
game.
skipped Origin.
Origins is a good game that deserves recognition. Thank you very much. I would even argue it's better than Night, but
Also, I'm curious instead how we managed to make Night work, because even on PS4, the frame rate chugs a lot.
Okay.
It gets load a lot.
to be fair, the problems Night had, people attribute more to just it was not optimized or really programmed well, because it was the biggest mess on PC, which is the most powerful of them all. Like, that definitely points more to it being an optimization problem.
Anyway, I checked in the meantime.
That's great.
This third of it is doing it turned me up. Apparently specialized in doing Switch ports, like the Borderlands.
Play your cards right.
So apparently they know what to do, I guess.
It's great that they're bringing in the Arkham trilogy, but based on what I've seen from that trailer, it seems like the ports are based on the recent Arkham collection that the other consoles have.
Wait,
So I'll stick
Night
with
wasn't.
So I'll stick with I mean the ports of City and Asylum.
Yeah, that
turn
makes
to Arkham
sense.
Collection,
It seems like they're based on the recent modern console ports, the PS4 and Xbox One. So I'll stick with my Steam versions because I don't particularly care for the change in art direction from the Arkham collection.
I kind of find it weird that they didn't bring back Arkham City Armored Edition from the Wii U. Like, that's literally the Nintendo exclusive version.
I guess it's happy because they couldn't implement the Wii U feature in this one.
I mean, a lot of those features, I'd argue, you could essentially convert to being Switch capable.
Just Dance.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Can we get Koizumi in a panda costume?
Let me just...
Come dance with us.
No.
You'll love it if you do.
Let me
Just Dance, TL 2024 edition.
Also,
alright, since I don't give a rat's ass about this, let me just... actually, go on, Theo. Go on.
I have to question, because it's something we see even in the Ubisoft Forward. Why almost all the games that are being released by Ubisoft need to have the label a Ubisoft original? Like, what does that even mean?
Brand
Means it was made
recognition,
by
I
Ubisoft.
guess.
I mean, it's kind of redundant, isn't it?
Well, I guess it's just marketing buzzwords, basically.
Okay.
If it was a thing that Ubisoft had licenses, not for licensed product, but they published like in
1 month free trial. And
My-
Miley Cyrus is a flowers? Oh no, flowers from Miley Cyrus.
My guess, Tio, is that it's to differentiate what they're just publishing and what was actually developed first party by them.
Anyway, I heard about this game. Actually, it's quite. I think it's actually made by Marvelous.
In this action RPG, these heroes bound by fate must work together
In a
to
world
explore the
where
abyss.
heroes
Where
must
people
band
cannot
together.
speak.
However,
They really made silent protagonists a plot point.
Cool, I guess.
will be no easy
Yeah.
feat. wield weapons like swords.
Yep, that sure looks like an isometric RPG. Oh, with a maid who shoots darts.
Materials you've collected will help you cultivate resources and forge new items. Repeated forays into the abyss will enable you to grow stronger and dive deeper.
Can you hear me?
Your guide on this journey is the kingdom's sorrowful princess, encased in a crystal of her own tears. And through a mysterious power, her voice reverberates in the hearts of the silent warriors. Why did the king steal the world's words? And what awaits the warriors in the depths of the abyss? Silent Hope dives onto Nintendo Switch October 3rd. Sparks will fly in these Nintendo Switch games. Cast spells and cultivate your best life.
Oh,
alright,
RPG? Oh, Phoenix Labs.
We saw this recently, Jova. I forgot in which specific, showcase they presented it, but
I think it was the opening showcase of the Summer Games Fest.
I think so. I think it's the one that involved the dragon as well.
Locally or online in 4-player co-op. Fae Farm launches as a console exclusive on Nintendo Switch September 8th.
Yeah. It must have been the opening showcase because that was the only one Nintendo showed on. Aside from Ubisoft's, but you know.
Hot Wheels.
Choose from over 130 vehicles and pull off.
I still have to actually play the first one because it was actually free 1 month of the PS Plus and I got it, but I never tried it now.
So who else has seen the Hot Wheels TV show?
There's a
No.
Wait, there is one?
Yes, there's a TV show where several teenage drivers have to race and beat aliens for the fate of the world.
Isn't that Urban Star Races?
Looking classy in Manic Mechanics.
Let me bring it up.
Fix it up and toss it over.
Oh, apparently there are multiple Hot Wheels TV shows, actually.
They made Overcooked for cars.
Treacherous pits, pesky UFOs, and other workplace hazards. Manic Mechanics launches.
Now you can simulate workplace accidents.
Nintendo eShop. Introducing the second paid DLC.
Huh, you know, it's funny, the Hot Wheels show I was thinking of apparently isn't even the first Hot Wheels show.
Hey,
there have been Hot Wheels shows as early as 1969.
Nice.
To explore and new enemies to battle.
Hey, for those who don't know, Ubisoft may have accidentally screwed up by kind of revealing that Nintendo will have a console in the works that they think that they should have saved Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope for.
Yeah.
You get a demo now?
Yes.
Why? The game has been out for a while now.
Oh, sometimes for whatever. Oh, yeah, Dragon Quest monsters. For some reason, sometimes companies do this. Like Sega also released the Sonic Frontiers demo after the game released, so it's weird. I don't get that practice. But
The way
anyway,
demos are handled.
all right. Let me
just
explain
kind of-
this. Let me explain this. You know how Dragon Quest Builders is Dragon Quest trying to get some of that Minecraft pie? Dragon Quest Monsters is them trying to get some money from the Pokemon pie, basically.
I mean, if I got correct, it did originate on Nintendo DS, right?
Yes. I'm not as into the spin-offs as I am the mainline series, but I think that is correct. Yes.
But
So
we
you
did
play
we
as-
knew
Honest-
that we knew that a new monster game was actually in the works because Per
Yeah.
mentioned it, I think in May.
We still got MIDI music.
I mean, I guess this looks fine, but when it comes to Dragon Quest releases this year, the new Die game looks much more interesting, so I'll stick
At
with
the
that.
very least, I'm glad that this is getting, an immediate international.
No,
trailer instead
fortunate-
of, having to wait a year.
That's the thing too. It seems like Dragon Quest XI's success was finally their wake-up call. Finally.
All fucking time.
Gee, you mean to tell me that global releases might net us more sales? Who'd have thought?
Hey, that's
Dragon Quest IV, Shiro.
Yeah, that's the
Yep.
hero of Dragon Quest 4. Okay.
These spin-off. These spin-off.
with free because free seems to be like the popular one.
That's the thing. The thing you have to realize: these Dragon Quest spin-offs are all about the fan service. Like they bring in characters from various points in the series. It's all about the fan service, basically.
What kind of journey will you take to become the master of
You know, I don't think we've covered a Dragon Quest game on the channel yet.
Don't worry, I've got 11 on my Steam account. I'll record there.
Next.
Dragon Quest, the second
Oh,
series.
Oh, Pikmin 4. Yep.
Welcome to the Rescue Corps. As its newest recruit, you'll venture to a mysterious planet with all sorts of life forms. There, you'll meet plant-like creatures called Pikmin. And the adorable rescue pup, Ochi. Good boy. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, repair the damaged Rescue Corps spaceship and save any castaways you find.
God, that thing looks so cursed.
Which one?
It looks fine. Whatever.
No, I mean, you know, in universe, the kind of art style that they went through that.
Oh, that Pikmin is constantly changing. It's like a.
I was talking about the dog.
Well, yeah. In between, like from game to game, the Pikmin series always has kind of a good amount of shift in terms of the different art styles they can put in.
Or smash obstacles in your way.
So the doggo is your best friend in this game, like with Last Guardian.
Sure.
But can you pet him?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, can you pet the dog though?
If not, there's literally no point.
Oh look, a Game Boy Advance SP!
But it's not the silver one with the tribal tattoo. Lame.
God, I actually had one of those in my childhood.
So did I.
I never got why it was that one specifically that got the tattoo.
And of course the Bulborbs.
Okay. I had the Advanced SP, not the tattoo one.
The Bulborbs are basically.
No, I'm talking about the variant of the SP that has
there you are.
the tattoo.
So basically, I have a good selection of older and
stuff.
Yeah. The Bulborbs are basically the Goombas of the Pikmin series. Like,
Also, we have a monster made out of marbles.
Yes.
You'll be surprised, Waves.
Trust me, this franchise can make an enemy. Wait.
That looked like Olimar.
Yeah, it looked like Olimar, but man, Olimar, you really grew your fucking hair and beard, didn't you?
Maybe that's actually what happened. Well, remember, isn't it kind of what happened in the bad ending of the first game, where he literally turns into a Pikmin and he gets buried underground?
Yeah, he does.
Maybe that's what's happening.
Well, but that ending is not canon too, if the sequels are anything to go by.
Well, I think it's more of a case of, remember, the entire reason why these astronauts are wearing the space helmets is because apparently oxygen is toxic to them.
I'm guessing at this point, Miyamoto is like, he makes the Mario games, well, some of them nowadays at least, to bankroll these games.
Well, no, when it comes to actual development, Miyamoto now is in charge of stuff like this, Pikmin 4. Like, the Mario games nowadays are handled by Koizumi and his team.
And yet remember, this was in development hell for quite a while.
Yeah, that too. But basically, Miyamoto handed off Zelda to Onuma and Mario to Koizumi so he can focus on his own stuff, basically.
You'll like Pikmin, I guess.
No, Pikmin is his big pet franchise at this point. Miyamoto don't get me wrong, Miyamoto is still involved as an executive producer on Zelda and Mario, but he's definitely moved past those franchises, like
Whee!
With the Pikmin and Ochi by your side, no challenge is too big.
Remember this, Miyamoto hasn't directed a Mario or Zelda game since the Nintendo 64 days, so...
September 21. No, it's actually July 21, sorry.
There you go.
In past Pikmin games, you had to return to your spaceship before sundown. However, in this latest entry...
So in this case, it's a case of, oh, you can actually go out at night.
At night,
but
yeah.
No, it's your loss.
But I guess at night there are bigger perils.
More
Yes,
ferocious
that's how it is in Pikmin, yes.
I guess they took a page also from...
Okay, thank you then. Finally. About time.
Pikmin 3?
Well, Pikmin 3 is already on the Switch, Jova. Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
Got a Switch release, Jova.
Available later today.
It's out now.
It's out now. Oh, and you got a demo for 4. Alright, Pikmin fans has got... Alright, looks like Pikmin fans should be happy with this.
Mario fans are
I am.
too.
What
I
about
am.
the 3DS Pikmin, Pedro?
Eh.
We don't like to talk about that.
Wait, that sound effect.
Oh, the Master Collection. Awesome.
Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1.
Oh, so Pedro is right. They can use this track now.
Well, yeah.
Yep. Well, didn't I already explain the thing about
Not to mention, Dweebs, the track was remixed properly also for the Smash games.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing else, yeah.
Godspeed to you, Metal Gear Solid 3 on the 3DS.
Remember,
the purpose has now been fulfilled.
Remember, Dwebs. Oh, yeah, Metal Gear for the MSX, Metal Gear 2, as well as Solid Snake.
Oh snap! The NES.
Oh, the NES version.
Yes, one.
And Snake's Revenge. Well, okay. To be fair, no. To be fair,
Hey,
if
graphic novel.
Yeah, to be fair, it adds more value to the collection, so I'm cool with it.
For those who don't know, the graphic novels were actually PSP.
Ooh, a master book.
But were released separately.
Oh, there you go. You got yourself your lore book. There you go.
Okay, Vax, this makes me wonder: is
and
the
the soundtrack,
NES
of course.
version going to be exclusive to the Switch release, though?
Nah, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the case, Joe.
October
24th.
Another October release. Damn.
Lots of October.
October 24th.
Also, apparently it's going to be available physically too.
Yes.
Oh, Vampire Survivors. Go on, Pedro.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that they were going to include that stuff as bonuses. That's actually pretty cool. It gives. Okay. If this collection is $60 with this content, it's justified for me. Considering the amount of content you're getting out of this, yeah, $60 I can agree on. I'm seeing right here. Okay, the one thing I'm a bit miffed about is that, again, remember, like, they've told us that there's going to be quote-unquote minor edits to copyrighted content, most likely the live action footage, so I'm still going to wait to see what exactly those minor edits are before I buy this, because I don't want that live action footage out.
We'll see what it is. But yeah, okay, so if all that stuff packed into, again, what is blatantly Volume 1. Oh, by the way, Vampire Survivors. Yeah,
I will mention later. Oh, is this a
Wait. So this is finally the hats in the pigeon game we've been asking for?
Oh no.
Maybe not.
We saw this also somewhere before. I forgot which conference, but it did not leave me a good impression.
Maybe this was at one of the shows that I missed, because I do not remember seeing this one prior.
You were saying about Volume 1, Jova?
I wonder if Volume 2 is going to go, like, even further and include stuff like...
Portable Ops,
Ghost Babble, Portable Ops...
Hopefully,
Walker,
Yes, Duology.
Hopefully, we'll see.
So they made Rhythm Heaven, but with pigeon.
Disgusting.
I'll take it.
I'm actually wondering if maybe...
August 31st, on Halloween, really?
Perfect.
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, wait, is this...
This is Yonoid.
No, this might be... Yeah, I think it's the new... Yeah, it is! It's the new game! It's the new game by Christian Whitehead.
Who the heck are Private Division?
Private Division is the publisher. There you go.
A 3D platformer.
Huh.
Yeah, Evening Star. Right?
They just said from the team that made Sonic Mania. There you go. Now this is definitely something that this is the Christian's first major game. There you go.
She looks like an enticing enough scrimblow.
Well, this is made by Christian and his team, so I'm sure it's gonna be awesome.
It looks different enough from Sonic that we shouldn't have to.
Penny's big breakaway.
The Electric Chester.
Looks very vibrant.
There you go. Looking forward to that.
Hey, more Mario Kart 8 content.
The game that will not. Yeah, there will never be a Mario Kart 9.
You know, Shiroi?
Yeah?
You know when you said earlier that Atlas kept milking Persona 5? At least they make different games. They've been milking the same game for 10 years.
Yeah.
You
know what this means, Webs?
This DLC pack has been a thing for ages, though. This is just like the latest part of it.
Yes, Major?
No. This is actually a new wave.
It's a new wave of
Yeah,
DLC,
but it's
Shiro.
already paid for in the single DLC.
Oh, it is. It's just that eventually you're gonna have to make Mario Kart 9, Nintendo.
I will give them credit. They have essentially beefed up Mario Kart 8 to be the biggest Mario Kart game. Period.
Oh well, that's undeniable.
This is literally applying the games as a service method. It's just that since nobody actually mentioned the term, people are actually okay with that.
No, for the next Nintendo. Oh, God.
Star Ocean.
Oh, there you go, Star Ocean. Well, this was leaked, so.
Remake of the second Star Ocean game, complete with new graphics that fuse 2D and 3D, is on the way. After a mission goes.
So
It actually looks very different from the PSP version.
Oh, they're using the Octopath engine again. Yeah. Square is getting a lot of mileage from Team Mazzano's engine.
But I think it's still done by Tri-Asable.
No, it is. But remember, Square Enix is getting a lot of other teams to use the engine. So.
But I do wonder, is Cloud still voiced by Spike Spencer?
We'll see.
People just seem to really be enticed by the art style of seeing pixelated figures.
Yeah, 3D pixel art. Yeah, it's a fantastic engine. Ever since Octopath Traveler 1 came out, this engine has received such a high positive that Square Enix decided to make a lot of their remakes using it. Remember, the Dragon Quest III remake is also using this engine, and it's great because I love this particular style of.
Anyway, in case you're tempted, I really recommend this game, and you really don't even need to play the first one to enjoy it.
You can buy the game. I guess you can say that you can buy the game and tear it into pieces.
Kinda.
Also, Octopath 2 is very good.
It is.
In case you don't know,
you've played that?
It was actually created by the people who made the first Tales of Fantasia.
Yep.
Now, Square, can we get a Final Fantasy V remake using this art style that also lets the characters actually resemble their artwork?
Why 5?
Oh, WarioWare. Awesome.
Because 5 is the one that just baffles me with how different the characters look from their
I think
artwork.
6 is even more.
Well, 6 is infamous, but 6 at least has enough quality of life improvements from its latest version, I thought.
Not really. The
Shake that booty.
Remaster version is based on the original.
Oh, never mind. That might be 4 I was thinking of if it's 3D remake. But all the same, though, I feel like 5 could use it, definitely, because, again, don't get me wrong, both 5 and 6 could use remakes, but I feel like 5 needs it more overall.
Well, so basically, use the Joy-Cons motion.
Now, the WarioWare games have always taken full advantage of whatever gimmick each Nintendo console has.
And also,
This game worries. Games like this worry me though, because Joy-Con usage exclusively.
Well,
this makes me wonder, where's everybody 1-2 Switch? That one game that... Oh, wait, that's right. Nintendo just farted that out without actually...
WarioWare, move it. I like to move it.
No.
For November.
Intelligence systems.
Kazumi-san.
We're filming.
He was so into it, I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay.
Some things were meant
making a
to be
presentation.
So, hold on.
Legal.
So, hold on, Shiroi, have you actually played Octopath Traveler 2?
I've been watching it streamed.
Ah, okay. That's the thing. Trust me, Shiroi, you can't go wrong with Team Mazzano. So.
And like Seattle.
I mean, the second half of Brave of the Fault was not great, but ever since then they really hit their stride.
Touch the Mario.
Yeah. Where did Mario touch you, little boy?
No,
not like that.
I should mention, we are watching the American stream, but there is also a European version of the at least the Splatoon contest that they're having here.
Sure.
I mean, it will be a bit difficult to go to Seattle just for this European.
Yeah, so they made the version for us, guys. How nice of them.
Hey, Smash Bros. Ultimate Challenge Cup.
But does it actually offer $1 million prize like the Street Fighter 6 one? I don't think so.
Indeed.
A vast number of players are enjoying their time in Hyrule in The Legend of Zelda.
So I have heard.
$70.
So I have seen.
I think it's a bit early for having DLC about that.
Let's see what you got.
An amiibo figure of Link from the game was
Oh,
Also,
okay.
And here's the amiibo. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a Link amiibo.
Zelda.
Yay, they used her
Zelda
short
amiibo.
hair.
If you want him some.
Well,
kind
that's
of
how she
people,
looks in the game, Shira. Anyway, so. In between games, Zelda decided to cut her hair for some reason. I don't know
And
why.
now,
And she looks
one more
amazing.
thing.
I don't know. I prefer her with long hair personally.
Also, she's extremely
What?
British.
Boo.
Oh, hey Mario.
What?
Sam Rigo?
Oh, new
What are
2D
you
Mario
doing,
game.
Mario?
Speak to me.
All right, awesome.
Oh my god, it's a new art style.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's not using the cheap graphics from the new games.
I'm just happy there was something new in that regard.
All right. Oh, that's cool.
It ranks you on how you kill them.
Okay, the
Stop
flowers are
talking to
talking.
me.
Are we
Why are they
legit
talking?
high?
Because, Shiroi.
well-
Because.
Well, Shiroi, everything has eyes, so talking was the next evolutional step.
It's
Oh.
weird. This art style looks
New
almost
power
like
up,
it's.
Oh,
God.
crap.
What's happening?
All right, that looks pretty fun.
I think
Why did the music turn it? Why did the
Wiggle,
music
wiggle,
turn into? Why did the music turn into Splatoon?
Oh, and here we are. Once, and of course we
Long
have to.
Mario. We got Long Mario.
And of course we have to have the obligatory shadow silhouette section.
Oh, damn it.
seriously, why are the flowers talking?
A wonder seed, it said there. Super Mario Brothers
Mario
Wonder.
Bros.
All right, great.
Huge.
Now this
Hey,
Luigi.
Luigi.
this already
Luigi.
just based on this trailer, this is already the best 2D Mario since World.
Of course, another Toad. What?
Daisy. Holy
They
crap!
finally remembered Daisy and actually
they
put
finally
her in a
put Daisy
mainline
in a
game.
Holy crap! The next thing you'll know, they'll be having Tatanga as a boss.
Somewhere
this?
in the distance, you can hear Deji celebrating.
Yeah. This looks pretty.
Oh,
Wow, this actually looks
wow.
pretty great, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so the art style looks like it's going for a bit of a 2D hand-painted look. If you look close.
Not just that. I mean, look, compare this to the new games. Like the level gimmick seems so much more creative.
Holy cow, Daisy! They actually remembered Daisy. What the heck is that?
Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Wait a minute, hold on. So if Peach and Daisy are
October
both
20.
Another October release.
another October release. Wait, what?
Save your monies for October, everybody.
What the heck?
For October. Oh god!
Oh crap!
Oh
Mario,
my god!
I'm an elephant now. Woohoo!
No!
Nintendo!
What's wrong with that to you?
I don't want to look at the internet for the next 24 hours.
Shuri, do the math. Peach and Daisy are playable. Elephant power-up.
Also, Jova,
Fan art.
Yeah.
It's more do the Mario.
You want to? Yeah. Joe has a punch you. You realize Nintendo just opened up a door that they can never close again, right?
Sure. Remember the Super Crown? That was with it only supposed to have affected Toadette. Didn't stop the internet. Now we have an elephant power-up, which is likely going to affect everyone who uses it, so... Yeah, internet's gonna run wild with that.
Now this is more. See, compared to the new Super Mario Brothers game, now this is more like it. Apply the creativity of Koizumi's games into the 2D games. That's the way.
Guys, something's wrong.
Wow.
Sonic and Mario both releasing quality titles side by side showing 2D platformers how it's done. What year is it?
Apparently we're in the 90s again.
For the better this time.
3?
So, final thoughts, I guess.
Good.
Alright then.
I won't go over every single one, so I'll just strictly go over the ones that interested me the most and generalize the other ones afterwards. Sonic Superstars looks a hell of a lot of fun. It's certainly I think it's the best looking 3D 2D game, if you know what I mean.
2.5D, you mean?
Yeah, 2.5D one. I mean, 4 episode 2 looked solid, but I mean, obviously with a decade, over a decade afterwards, of course you're going to improve on it, and hey, Superstars looks the part, and it is nice to see, after one of Sonic's creators is now in jail. Seeing the other one, seeing the other one return to the series is nice.
That begs the question, though.
That, this is kind of a redemption arc, given how this might be Arza's first pure-on great game.
That begs the question, though. When is Yasuhara-san gonna get some love, man?
What's he busy doing right now?
Nothing that I'm aware of. But remember, he's the man who bloody designed and directed the bloody games. So.
And his recent big projects were back in like the 2000s. Like he was involved in a couple of the Jak and Daxter games and the first Uncharted.
Yeah, he worked at Naughty Dog for a while. Yeah.
Persona 5 Tactica. It's pretty much Persona Fire Emblem. And I've been getting into Fire Emblem lately, so although I'll be a maverick and I get the PlayStation version, so I can say, yeah, I've got Fire Emblem on PS5.
Again, it works differently than Fire Emblem from the other gameplay shown.
Detective Pikachu Returns. Like, I haven't played the first one, and I don't think seeing the movie really counts. So I'll go into it with a bit of, well, not trepidation exactly, but yeah, I'll go into it at some point. But no, I know. The Super Mario RPG remake. Again, I haven't played it, but hey, we've got a new, better looking version now, so might as well wait for that one. The Super Princess Peach 2. I know it's not its official name, but that's what I'm calling it for now. It looks, graphically it looks pretty, but I wonder if you can still make Peach cry to get on with the level.
Hopefully not.
Because from the looks of it, Super Princess Peach sounds like one of the weirder Super Mario games.
Yeah.
Oh, Dwibs, as Theo alluded to, it is legit a game about trying to get a vibrating stick from Bowser.
It's not even too much of an hyperbole. At the end of the game, very tail end of the game literally breaks the fourth wall out of nowhere and asks what your parents are doing.
It's called Dwibs. It's called the Vibe Scepter, and it helps with people's moods.
Hey,
There's
kid.
apparently a chance that one of them might be in your house right now.
Hey, kids, make sure.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, make sure your parents are not around while you're playing this section.
And wow, and hey, even from just within the group, the first game seems to have gotten a bit of a split reaction.
I mean, it's legit a game where Peach eats people alive. It is definitely one of the weirder ones. And given it's a Mario game, that is saying something.
The Metal Gear Solid Collection, Volume 1.
Yes.
Okay, since I've been playing Hitman lately, I might check it out. Metal Gear Solid, at least. I'm guessing there are difficulty modes.
Yes, all games have easy modes.
Yeah, I might check it out at some point. I haven't really played Star Ocean that much. I'm not sure. I'm guessing most of them are on PlayStation.
Yes.
Yes.
Ironically enough, it was the second game that was missing, but I guess.
Yeah.
That's the thing, Waves. Square did actually release the PlayStation, the PSP port of Second Story on PlayStation 4. But only in Japan, and people were wondering why, because the first one got, a similar treatment, not like this, but still, a release with the different artworks of, for the character,
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, this remake looks better anyway, so might as well go with this.
WarioWare Move It. Well, it's basically WarioWare, but with even more Joy-Con game controls. I am slightly interested in picking up the one of the amiibos, maybe at some point. I mean, I haven't really been buying a lot of amiibos lately, but if I do, I might pick up the Zelda one. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I can only begin to imagine the jokes people are going to make out of the name if the game turns out to suck.
Debs, I can tell you already that unless something goes horribly, horribly wrong, just based on this trailer, this is the best 2D Mario games in this world. Like, not that the new games are necessarily bad, they're just bland, but they're still perfectly fine made games for what they are. It's just that they're so bland in their presentation that it's just...
Although, funnily enough, the most experience I've had with 2D Mario was the land games.
Oh, the land games are also great.
On the Game Boy, yeah.
Yep.
And the rest of them range from solid to... I'm just not that interested. But overall, the Direct itself was really solid. The biggest surprise, honestly, to me, was having Metal Gear on this, considering that the franchise hasn't really had a pleasant history on Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. But, well, that's what this collection is for.
Like I said, to Metal Gear Solid 3 on the 3DS, I salute you. Your purpose has finally been fulfilled.
And hey,
you can rest now.
Hey, people that only play on Nintendo consoles finally get to play a version of Metal Gear Solid 1 that has good voice acting.
And no, me and Dwiz will never let that go before you ask.
No, we will not. Snake and Psychomantis aside.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a really solid show. No, that's it. Overall, a pretty solid show.
All right.
Cheering.
Very good show. Overall, I think Super Mario Wonder. That looks great. Very quirky, very vibrant. I'm not sure about the flowers, but sure. Yeah, it looks really good. The Mario fans won today, I think.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting that day one.
If Daisy and Peach are fine, who do you think's getting kidnapped in this new game?
No one.
Remember, Pretty Word, had
Sprixies got kidnapped in that one.
But that was literally a new thing they introduced. Maybe it's a thing even here.
Or, God forbid, Bowser has kidnapped Rosalina in this one.
No, there's no way Rosalina will even... Rosalina is way too powerful.
You haven't played Mario Plus Rabbids 2, haven't you, Pedro?
Yeah, let's just say Rosalina is not immune to kidnapping.
Yeah.
Rhythm Heaven Pigeons, yes. Thank you, I guess.
It's cool.
Shut up. There are actually quite a few bird puns in this direct.
I'm still waiting for my Hats and the Pigeon game, Sega. Where is my Hats and the Pigeon game?
Maybe for one future April Fool's thing, we could have a cameo.
I forgot. Did the Tofu boyfriend got a Switch port? Let me check.
I don't think did Hatterful Boyfriend ever come to a console?
I think on PlayStation at least.
Yeah, it's on PlayStation. I can tell you that. I've seen it there.
No, it's not on Switch. It's on PS4, PC, iOS, macOS, and PS Vita. What a steal!
That's surprising, actually. But what else? The last batch of Mario Kart tracks for now, I guess. I mean, these are the last tracks from the DLC wave. So maybe for whatever the next console is, we'll have Mario Kart 8 Ultra Deluxe.
Well, that's usually enjoyment.
You're never getting Mario Kart 9 or 10
or ever.
Yes. Mario Kart Ultimate will be next.
They will ditch the numbering system just to keep people from getting a Mario Kart 9.
What about What about Christian Whitehead's new game, actually?
It looks great.
Yep.
It's very bright, looks very smooth. I've been wondering what they were doing, actually, because they've been pretty quiet.
They announced they showed the silhouette of Penny, the main character, but they didn't reveal anything else aside from the silhouette, and said they were working with Private Division as publisher. But then they went quiet, yeah. So I'm guessing they were waiting for this direct to finally come out.
Yeah. Sonic Superstars. I haven't had a chance to talk about that at one of these yet. I am looking forward to that. It does look good, and the impressions have been mostly positive from people who have played it, the demo. So I'm optimistic about that one.
The Metal Gear Solid Master Collection?
I mean, we already knew about that, so I don't really have anything to say about that one.
We didn't know it was coming to the Switch or whatever. Again,
no.
We also didn't know it would be getting a physical release, as well as the fact that they're including NES and Snake's Revenge, along with the digital comic and other content.
We got a Peach game. That's fun. Potential magical girl Peach.
Yes.
Beautiful.
What else? The Mario RPG remake.
Yes.
Happy for people who were looking forward to that. It's not really something I'm gonna get most likely, but people are excited, and that's great. Like, happy
probably
for
going to provide people the biggest chance of Geno finally coming to Smash.
The Mario and Rabbids DLC.
Yeah, those are good. So I don't know. I don't have when it comes to Mario, I don't really have a whole lot to say unless it particularly piques my interest, like Wanda does.
That's fair.
Let's see. Also a Wario rhythm game, which is apparently a sequel. So
rules apparently.
Yeah. I think that's it. Like, this was a really good direct. I think lots of neat surprises, lots of variety. People seem mostly happy. Could have picked better ice cream flavors, but I understand going for the basic ones, you know. They're not exactly going to put rum on this list, are they? No.
How dare you pick a flavor that's not one of my favorites?
Yes,
they left out
exactly.
the cheesecake flavor. Tisk.
Well, I mean, Alice already pointed out that strawberry could count as strawberry cheesecake, so you can dream. You can dream.
You don't get to dictate what ice creams I get.
Also, because we don't really have this in my country, Java, isn't cheesecake ice cream a bit redundant, being ice cream a derivative of, milk?
No. See, cheesecake can be made into an ice cream flavor.
No, I'm sure it can be made, but again, it feels a bit redundant. It's like making a yogurt, all of that.
Not necessarily.
Frozen yogurt.
Okay. Not necessarily, because cheesecake is done in more a case where you pack the cream and the stuff on top of flat graham cracker. Ice cream is when it's mixed into the ice cream format, essentially, which has little bits of the graham crackers speckled in, along with the nice cheesy flavor of it.
Anyway, sorbet is better. That's all I have to say. Who's next?
I need to form an army to topple down Shiroi's ice cream dictatorship.
No, I think sorbet is better, especially the alcoholic variant.
An alcoholic ice cream.
Vodka, lots of vodka, Jova, yes.
A lot of it.
Anyway, yeah, that was a really solid direct. I mean, Pokemon DLC, don't care. I've long stopped caring about Pokemon for a long time now, but if you are into Pokemon, good for you. Sonic Superstar, it still looks really good. I'm still cautiously optimistic because, ours just doesn't have the best track record, so I'm going to keep myself cautiously optimistic just in case. Persona 5 Tactica, yeah, more Persona 5, sure. What else? Myth Force, 80s cartoons, the first-person RPG, sure, why not? What else? The Pikachu Returns, awesome. Now, could you please port the first one to the Switch as well while you're at it, Nintendo? Okay, thanks. Super Mario RPG Remake. Sure, I love that game, so fine by me. The Princess Peach game, we barely saw anything of it. We don't
even have a title.
They did make it a note that we're going to be learning more, so I guess we can definitely expect a Nintendo Direct in the future.
In that case, you might as well just wait to announce it when you had more to show then. I don't know.
Well, the idea is to get people enticed and talking about
they
it.
also wanted to make it themed because they put it in block with the Super Mario RPG stuff. This one about Peach and the Luigi's Mansion 2 port as well.
I guess.
Basically, it looks like Mario, Luigi, and Peach each have some stuff to look forward to in the
truly
future.
Is, again, like the year of Luigi.
So, speaking of Luigi's Mansion 2, and yes, that's what I'm going to be calling it, because I prefer that title over Dark Moon, because it makes it more consistent with the other two. It's called Luigi's Mansion 2 in Europe, so I'm going to pull out webs on this one, because not that Dark Moon is necessarily a bad title, it's just that, okay, if you're going to give the second one a subtitle, why does the third one not have a subtitle? It's inconsistent. I'm literally like James Rolfe in his title video and back in the day, like it's inconsistent and it annoys me.
My question would be, why not combining and call it Luigi's Mansion 2 subtitle Dark Moon?
That's what I would have done.
But you'd think when 2023 and companies still are so confusing about their titles of sequels.
Again, Pedro, it's a bunch of people in suits that pretend to know what is actually appealing in terms of marketing, even as titles.
I still say that Mortal Kombat takes the cake with title numbering / naming.
At this point, that's undeniable, yeah. But anyway, Luigi's Mansion 2, getting a remaster on the Switch. Great! Now where's Luigi's Mansion 1? No, seriously, why isn't that game been re-released yet?
Can we also get back the commercial where the guy is about to kiss the girl, but she turns into like a vampire or something?
I get that. Like, come on, give us a remaster of that one as well while you're at it, guys. The Batman Arkham trilogy. For those of you who only play on Switch and want to play these games, great for you. I'm gonna stick to my Steam versions because I don't particularly care for what they did to the visuals in the remasters of Arkham City and Asylum, so I'll stick to the Steam versions. I don't care about Just Dance. Don't care about. Okay, Mario Rabbids DLC looks cool, so nice. Dragon Quest Monsters. I don't. There's a much better the Dragon Quest spin-off coming, guys, so go for that one. Dragon Quest Legend of Dai. So just go for that one instead. That one looks a lot more fun and much more interesting than just, again, Pokemon clone. Pikmin 4. Again, Pikmin fans got it great in this direct. Like, not only did we recently get Pikmin 3 Deluxe, now we got a Pikmin 4 demo, a release date for the actual full game, and a Pikmin 1+2 collection. Great. Finally. The Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm still not going to pre-order it because I still want to know what those minor edits are before I paid for this thing. So, let's see how that turns out. That being said, one thing about the Master Collection that I'm seeing here on Gematsu is weird. The game is coming out on PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC and Switch. Why not the PS4? Why not the PS4 and Xbox One as well? I mean, if this collection can run on the Switch, then it can just as easily run on the PS4 and Xbox One. Anyway, Master Collection looks great, but I still want to know what those minor edits are, guys. So, Penny's Big Breakaway. Anything made by Christian Whitehead is a day one buy. Enough said.
Did they tell us the price of that game?
No. But
let me see if it's on Steam or
maybe
that one tells.
It's most likely a AA game, so most likely it will be around $40.
Depends. Sometimes people sell some games like these for $60.
I'm willing to pay for $60 because the game looks great anyway. But yeah, sure. All right. Star Ocean: The Second Story R. This leaked, like I said before, and yeah, looking forward to seeing yet another Octopath Engine RPG remake. So I can't wait to tear this game into pieces. Taylor knows what I'm talking about.
Also, Joe, I'm checking right now. The Steam page of Penny's Big Breakaway doesn't list yet a price.
I'm saying it right now, Square Enix. If you don't have him say the line, I will boycott this game. If tearing to pieces is not in there, vocally said, like in the original, I will not buy this because
I think it was in the PSP version anyway.
True, but you can never be too careful.
For those who don't know, the game has a sort of a meme status, but because of the rapidly spamming quote lines like calling your attacks and stuff, people tend to get weird experiences where the characters are essentially having the same thing that happens in Mega Man X7 with Blade Vineyard. You guys burn to the ground.
Yeah, basically it works like this. There's a very powerful attack that you use with the main that you use in that game, and every time you use it, the character says "tear into pieces," and if you use it repeatedly, like some people like me like to do, you are going to be hearing this line again and again: "tear into pieces, tear into pieces." Sometimes you can even hear the line interrupting itself. It's just trust me, Shiro, playing this game will burn that sentence into your mind. Like, tear into pieces, tear into pieces, tear into pieces. Anyway, Star Ocean looks good. WarioWare. Again, WarioWare is always incredibly fun, so no reason to think otherwise of this one. I mean, the WarioWare team doesn't really fail. Tears of the Kingdom amiibo. I don't particularly care about amiibos, but if you do, cool for you. So Mario Brothers Wonder is of course the highlight because, oh my god, this is exactly what I've wanted for the 2D Mario games to do. Implement all the awesomeness and creativity of Koizumi's 3D games into a 2D game, and this looks exactly like it. I mean, the only personal nitpick I could throw at Wonder is that I still would have preferred a 2D HD art style based on the original artwork. It looks like they actually put a fucking budget in this one, at least, which at the very least it would make, because the problem with the new Super Mario Bros. Games is that they look so cheaply made. Technically speaking, I mean the actual design of the games is perfectly fine for what it is, but damn, they look so cheap in their making.
It says something that it wasn't so much the game design, but not even necessarily the level design that burned people out from New Super Mario Brothers. It was literally the art style. Like
not just the art. I will argue it's not just the art style, Joe, but it's also the fact that those games, while perfectly fine gameplay wise, they didn't really innovate enough from each other. Like they all blurred in together. Yeah. But compare this to this game, where this game is just bursting with creativity. So whereas the New Super Mario Brothers games just played it way too safe. They literally felt like, I mean, they're not Sonic 4 levels of bland, but they are basically the equivalent.
I would definitely say they're okay. If I had to specify it to one game, because let's be fair, people did love New Super Mario Brothers at first with the DS and
the first two specifically.
I'd say the 3DS game, New Super Mario Brothers 2, is the Sonic 4 of the Mario franchise, because that is where things were pretty much at their lowest. It kind of rose a bit with U, but only so much.
By the time U was actually probably the best of the four. The problem is that by the time it came out, people were sick of New Super Mario Brothers. So
okay, I won't turn this into much of a rant, but I'll basically sum it up. New Super Mario Brothers U is essentially what would happen if you refined a game series. The caveat is, congrats, you have refined the game series at the point where people are burned out on it.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats, you have made the best game in the series, but a lot of people weren't going to care at that point.
And yeah, that's the Direct. Really solid, and yeah, it takes the crown. Jova.
Alright, yeah, I'll just go out the gate by saying this is definitely the best thing shown at not E3 2023 this year. But I digress. Nintendo's show has definitely been the highlight, as it usually is in June. So they started off with some Pokemon DLC. I haven't gotten Scarlet and Violet because I'm waiting to play that game when it's in, a state that, again, is not literally the Pokemon equivalent to Sonic 06. Thank you very much. But no, the DLC looks good for people who are enjoying Scarlet and Violet. The MMO game Palia. That looks neat. Or, a kind of a free-to-play, cozy farming sim. Persona 5 Tactica. Yep, keep that Persona 5 train a-flowing. I am not complaining. Heck, I'll say it. I wouldn't even mind a legit Persona 5 sequel. Because I just love Persona 5 that much. Kudos. And then there was Myth Force. Yes. Your own Saturday morning cartoon first-person simulator RPG. Riveting. Probably not my thing, but hey, for those who enjoy it, enjoy it. Next up, we saw the sequel to Detective Pikachu, which looks interesting, but my god, I'll admit, I'm not going to say it looks absolutely terrible, but part of me can't help but wonder if they were designing this for the 3DS and when it was brought to Switch didn't have time to refine it. That being said, aside from that, it looks like it'll be a nice continuation to the original game. But here's where the big surprises started to come. Super Mario RPG Remake. Now, again, if you're familiar with Nintendo, you might know that sometimes Nintendo can be a bit adverse to the times when Mario has done stuff outside of what they consider their lane, essentially. Look at stuff like the older soccer games, but most infamously had to be RPG. Now, we never got confirmation that they hated. Heck, they did include it in re-releases, SNES Online, and of course SNES Classic. But it always seemed like if you were exclusive to Mario RPG, you weren't coming back. Outside of maybe as a spirit like Gino and Malo were in Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, to see this brought back means that, again, Nintendo and Square have pretty much both given the green light. Again, for all I know with Square, it could have literally just been Nintendo calling them and asking them, hey, is it okay if we remake this? And then just saying, yeah, sure. Or who knows, maybe Square are co-developing this with Nintendo. Time will tell. Speaking of time telling, in addition to Mario getting a new outing, Peach and Luigi have their own installments, with Luigi getting a remaster of his second Mansion game, and Peach getting a brand new game, which, oh boy, how much are people going to laugh if this is legit? The gameplay from the first Super Princess Peach game, brought back and refined. That would be glorious. Speaking of glorious, the second thing shown at this showing was Sonic Superstars, which, yeah, looks and sounds, since we finally got to hear some of the music, great. And with confirmation that it'll be a nice meaty game, all that's waiting to see is what other content there will be, but it's definitely looking to be a good day one purchase for me. The Batman Arkham trilogy. Don't get me wrong, I am happy that these games are being brought to Switch, and I'm glad that they are showing that, yes, the Switch can run even games like Arkham Knight, provided that, you know, the developer actually gives a crap about the port.
Mm-hmm.
But goddamn, Origins was slandered here. Like, no, come on, guys. Origins is just as much a part of the lore. It may not have been made by Rocksteady, but come on. It is still a good and solid game that deserves its place among the rest of its family. So yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment, but nonetheless, it is nice to see that, again, we'll be getting Arkham on the Switch. Speaking of which, Marvelous. Like I said, yep, that sure looks like an isometric action RPG. Brought to you by Marvelous and Xseed. Kudos. There was also Dragon Quest Monsters, the Dark Prince announced for Switch, which, yeah, looks like Dragon Quest's answer to Pokemon. Pikmin 4 was a very nice highlight, with us getting to see a good glimpse of it, and possibly wonder if we're seeing Olimar from a bad timeline in one of his games. Also, Pikmin 1 and 2 are coming to Switch, so yes, Pikmin fans, all the games are there in one area.
I'm sure Arlo is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, he's weak for Pikmin. But speaking of collecting stuff together, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, because yes, they're really emphasizing that this is Volume 1. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It turns out that this collection is more comprehensive than we thought, given how they're not only including the MSX games, but even including flipping Snake's Revenge and Metal Gear NES, along with some cool bonus content never before seen on a platform like this. And yeah, the digital comic is interesting. I assume it's good for lore.
No, it's essentially, okay, it's a bit hard to explain, but for some reason that escapes me, during the era of the PSP, Konami released a bunch of UMDs that did not have games in it, but instead had essentially either a graphic novel, which counted also as with a dub on it, and they were done for a couple of products. The first two, Metal Gear Solids. I think there was also something similar that happened with Portable Ops, because that also retains some of those style of cutscenes and everything. And definitely one for Silent Hill, which contained a comic that was one of the ones that Inca reviewed, called Silent Hill Hunger. But for some reason they were just released like that, with no one understanding even who they were even for. So again, including those in this collection is actually a nice touch.
Huh, nifty. So yeah, that looks like it's good. There was also Vampire Survivors. Sweet for anyone who's a fan. Next up was Evening Stars 3D platform, Penny's Big Breakaway. The character looks interesting, the gameplay looks interesting, the lore and world do feel like they hold promise, so yeah, I'll keep my eye on this one for sure. Next up was Star Ocean, the second story R. I have not played a Star Ocean game, but judging off of how excited Pedro and Tio sounded, yeah, looks like this will be good. Again, Square Enix are really getting a lot of mileage off of the Octopath Traveler engine.
Yeah. Oh, Ubisoft. You know that engine you got over there? It's called, what's the name again? UbiArt engine. Maybe you could learn a thing or two from Square in terms of actually using your perfectly good engines that are just sitting...
No, Pedro, we are getting that new Valiant Hearts game on mobile.
Oh yeah, that should tide us over, clearly.
You know what's funny? The new Mario Wonder game looks like it was made with the UbiArt engine to a tiny extent.
That's a bit too far. Like, the closest it could resemble would be the Rayman Origins and Legends duology, but now that's not even close to how
the first. Fortunately, the first Octopath Traveler was a big success both critically and commercially, and Square Enix noticed this, so they decided to give out the source code for the engine to all of their developers, and even Enix has been making use of it with the Dragon Quest III remake. So
I'm looking for, again, I could totally see the Final Fantasy Pixel Classic games being remade with that.
That would be great. That being said, I'm perfectly satisfied with the current Pixel remaster, so I'm not going to... let's give it priority to some other games that haven't been re-released yet.
Fair. Anyway, WarioWare Move It. Looks good and promising, again. Then we got the Amiibo news about Tears of the Kingdom. That looks nice. So, what was the grand finale of all things 2D Mario? Now again, back in the era of New Super Mario Bros., I assure you, this being the finale would have gotten a lot of eye rolls. But what they did showcase is that this is definitely something different. It sounds like they've been listening to the critiques people had about the new Super Mario Bros. Franchise and are delivering us a new adventure with, again, all sorts of new things. For starters, they actually included Daisy, finally, in addition to the two other Toads, which is funny. I noticed on the cover that they showcased the blue Toad turning into a Goomba like Toad does in the Super Mario Bros. 1993 live-action film. We got a whole new bevy of power-ups, so that's bound to be good. And again, I legit have to wonder if Bowser kidnapped Rosalina, seeing as how his ship in this game reminds me of his Fortress from the Galaxy games.
Again, it could be just the autochthonal species of, this new land, which is, again, the same thing that happened in 3D World.
Do we actually know if this is a complete new land?
We have seen, remember, Jova, we have seen also towards the end where the characters are using the flagpole and everything, they are being greeted by a new character entirely.
That is true. It could be a new land,
And even
or
what you collect are not even power stars or similar. They are, they seem to be completely different.
God forbid we're going back to Sarasland. Been how many years at this point?
Yes.
But yeah, no, overall this Direct was a great show. And Tio, give us your final thoughts.
Yeah, again, this was actually fun. Only very little things that, did not grab my interest. And sadly, one of them is arguably the Pokemon Gen 9 DLC. I don't think the games are completely unsavageable because, they still actually provide one of the better stories, certainly a step up over Gen 8. It's just a matter that they were, still technically a bit more polished at launch, which hopefully we might get with these DLCs. Who knows? We'll have to see. If not, maybe for the next console, we're gonna pull something what Sony did, but between the PS4 and PS5, and said, "Oh, you can make the upgrade," and now the game runs smoothly without.
They'll most likely do Ultra Scarlet and Ultra Violet.
Those would be technically new games entirely.
I guess.
I don't know. But anyway, Palia, which we did see, I think, somewhere else. Again, farming simulator like many others, so it's totally harmless on that front. So pretty cool. Persona 5 Tactics, Tactica. I repeat literally what I said when it showed up in the Xbox showcase. It looks perfectly fine. It's a tactical RPG. I really wish Atlus would instead diversify a bit. Or if not, focus on porting more of their old catalog that desperately kind of needs it.
Shimigami Tensei.
Well, that's just generic in terms of setting Java. Let me put a more concrete example, which I think I did mention for the Xbox showcase. You bothered to make a sequel to Soul Hackers, but you did not port the first one, which is stuck on the 3DS. Nor did you ever localize the first, Devil Summoner, which was on the Dreamcast and PSP. So again, it's that kind of conundrum that having to introduce a player base to a sequel, to which they have no real concrete way of playing the first one unless they start emulating it, which for people like me and some of us, it's not really a big problem. A lot of casual, goers will actually have a problem with that. So there is that. But whatever. Again, the gameplay seems solid enough, so it doesn't look like a cheap job at least. Force. It looks fun running the joke of, it's like you're playing an interactive version of a T-Man, or TMNT cartoon. So if you're that kind of nostalgic, it's perfectly good to go. Detective Pikachu Returns. I have to agree with Jova. It honestly looks like it originally was planned for the 3DS and they moved it onto the Switch because it doesn't look very polished, to be honest. Not in terms of frame rate, but a lot of jagged models I've noticed all over the place. Who knows? And again, why not porting also the first one? I don't know. It just feels odd, especially because people are familiar also with the movie, which is a bit different from how the game progresses story-wise, but still, you want to have people be introduced before going again with the sequel. Whatever, maybe in the future. Super Mario RPG Remake. I actually did not know that this was leaked, so this caught me actually off guard, but it's still a nice surprise. And again, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be just fine, even if they just do a graphical overall. I would wish they changed a bit some of the, jokes and names, because the first game suffered from Wuseism all over again. It was one of the big cases of the time. I know that it's a part of the charm, that people had back then, but I kinda do wish they will take the occasion here and, iron out some more weird stuff. But I'm guessing they're probably not gonna do it for the sake of nostalgia, alas. The new Princess Peach game, it's a thing. So I have to see how it turns out. The same goes for the Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon Remaster. I guess this is a small side job that Next Level Games is doing because we have time to spare and, they don't have to work too hard on the Strikers game that was released recently. But still, again, welcome one. The more the 3DS games gets released out of their jail, the better. Sure, I would have picked in terms of priority something like either Kid Icarus Uprising or some Metroid Samus Returns, but this is just fine, equally. The Arkham games, sure, we'll have to see how they actually perform, because I'm still having weird vibes in seeing how actually Knight is gonna perform on the Switch, if it's not like a cloud version. Because again, unless they change the architecture differently, which I know that the team that is doing it seems to be specialized in making ports. Like, for example, they ported It Takes Two, for example. So they seem to be competent enough. But a game like Knight, we'll have to see really how it actually performs on launch. I did took a bit look at the comparisons between and I think the major culprit of the difference between the original and the Return to Arkham version is mostly the lighting, which hides a bit more the type of shadows on models that they had. But I think that's mostly on cutscenes, and I think the reason is because in the original release they were pre-rendered, while in the new ones they were done with the in-game models. So maybe that's what's causing the problem. But otherwise, I can tell you that the games still play just fine for what they need to do. So if you're a Switch owner and never played these games, you're good to go, I guess. Still, excluding Origins is still a bad move. But again, like we ever said, Origins technically did nothing wrong. It's perfectly serviceable as it is. I wouldn't go as far as saying that it's better than Knight, but again, still solid as the other was. And again, include also Origins Blackgate while you're at it. Not really. It's if you make a small collection with both that and Blackgate at the same time.
I forget. Has Rocksteady ever said anything about what they think of Origins? Maybe Rocksteady doesn't like it.
If they did a poor job explaining it, because they add a lot of continuity nods to it in Knight.
Well, okay.
Deathstroke showed up.
Well, true, but who knows, Theo? Maybe they retroactively looked at it and I'm just trying my best to come up with some kind of explanation here.
Again,
to my knowledge, I have not seen a public statement that would suggest that they despise
If they were
Origins.
bitter about it, they at least did a good job at hiding it. There's that. Gloomhaven. This is probably one of the things that interested me the least. I don't think it's that bad, but definitely not for me. Saying the new RPG done by Marvelous about the silent protagonists, literally, it actually looks fairly interesting. So I might check it out in the future, but I'm guessing checking here is also releasing also over on PC, so we'll see it. And Xseed or Crossseed, whatever you want to call it, they're always good at doing translations, so I'm trusting on them. Manic Mechanics. That looks like literally someone took a couple of Mario Party minigames and made an entire game about that. Mario Plus Rabbids Particle of DLC, it looks fine, but again, we're waiting on the last one, where they're gonna have Rayman in it. That's gonna be, the big one. This one, as far as it goes, it seems solid enough. The new tribal rabbits and apparently a a robot version of King Bob shows up. Cool. New Dragon Quest monsters. I never played those, and again, I'm mostly distant from the Dragon Quest franchise. But again, it doesn't even look too bad. Again, shame about the music still being confined in MIDI, but that's what we kinda have to take, unfortunately. The Pikmin stuff, overall, is pretty solid. 4 shows just what you need to know about playing the game. In terms of securing your purchase, and it's cool that they actually bother to release the old games in a HD remaster format, like the first Metroid Prime, like we did with first Metroid Prime. Speaking of that, the thing of releases also the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, which includes even more stuff that we thought before. Again, Konami is doing a fairly decent enough job with releasing its old titles, so I would like to give them that. We're still not really all the way through. We still have a couple of missing, things like Vandal Hearts or Rocket Knight. But again, maybe only in due time. Vampire Survivors. It's something that always, passed in the background in a lot of the shows that we watched, like the Game Awards, and I never really talked about it. But aside from being famous with VTubers, this is actually a game made by an Italian team, and there are actually a lot of inside jokes that only we actually get to understand. So it's actually pretty interesting. But as a game on its own, it's perfectly fine. Not really something that I will play too much myself because it's something very arcadey and something that it's good for entertaining others, showing that you're playing it rather than playing it yourself. The Headbangers game with the pigeons. I'm sorry, just like with the first trailer, I'm not really tuned into this. It looks like someone took the penguins for Wallace and Gromit and decided to turn them into the minions. I'm not digging really this. The game done by Christian Whitehead's team, it looks fine for what it wants to do, but this first trailer looked a bit unpolished to me. Like, this is just the announcement. The game still has to come out next year, so most likely it's gonna be more refined. But it looks like for the job it wants to do. But I really wish they would have waited a bit more before showing something. If that would have meant, showing more solid stuff. The next course for the Mario Kart 8 DLC. Again, cool that they brought back a couple of characters that people wanted, although Diddy Kong is still missing apparently, but we'll have to see if he shows up later on or not. And again, it seems that despite still being attached a bit to the mobile game, Mario Kart Tour, they are balancing out in terms of fan service and bringing back. The next WarioWare, it's WarioWare. Not what else do we want to expect? Well, that means basically that the cycle is broken because the team was specialized in doing one WarioWare and one Rhythm Heaven, and now we didn't got installing a new Rhythm Heaven between the previous WarioWare and this, unfortunately. It's a shame.
Which do you prefer between the two?
Rhythm Heaven, again, both of them use a similar style of humor, but WarioWare is actually more fast-paced, while Rhythm Heaven tries to be properly stylized like a rhythm game, as in the weird stuff is all the way through, but you have to play like a 1 minute 90 seconds, this kind of song, to go through it. While WarioWare is like throwing stuff at your face, like look at this, look at this, look at this, and you have to think fast.
Which is funny because I'm pretty sure both have gotten cameos in each other's games.
Yeah, because we're done by the same team, they know to do that kind of stuff. But again, it's gonna be fine, like most of the other WarioWare games anyway. I don't really think it's gonna be much of a problem. Last but not least, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's a wonder how this game is going to make it. Also, the trippy stuff in Elephant Mario are gonna haunt my nightmares for the next week.
People constantly were wondering if Mario gets high when he eats mushrooms.
He turned himself into an elephant. The funniest shit I've ever seen.
The Nintendo went, alright, you asked for it though, and now, yes, you and the entire level get trippy.
But aside from, the small animations like Mario entering the tube and catching his cap, I'm really not seeing too many differences with the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Sure, a bit more stylized, quote unquote. Like say that it's look like a bit more, the colors look like they're being scraped by a crayon rather than, digitally colored for a 3D model. But other than that, it doesn't really look too different to me. Again, I think it was mostly a problem of fatigue of having the same game with little changes being released over and over and over again, which is why new Super Mario Bros. U for the Switch, was a change of pace because it introduced new content and it was fairly distant, and so it seems to be happening to this. So again, cool stuff, and we'll see how that turns out while waiting properly for the next big 3D Mario game, which probably is gonna be for the next console Nintendo is gonna make. It's a bit of a shame that the Button Kaitos Remaster got a trailer separated, away from the Direct. I get it why they did it for 1-2 Switch, because nobody gives a shit.
Not even Nintendo apparently are really stoked about the 1-2 Switch sequel.
Why did you do the same for, Button Kaitos? I think they should have been there. It literally would have took you 2 extra minutes. What was the pressure? I don't know.
That is weird.
Oh, right, I forgot to talk about this. Regards to the Splatoon Flatfest, it's fine, but I cannot really care about the choice because both free flavors of ice creams are not really a thing that I really eat. I'm gonna go with Shiroi. Bring sorbets. Those are actually fun. Anyway, that's pretty much it, so stay tuned for whatever Nintendo announces next. Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.